What's up guys? In today's video we're going to talk about dryer rollers, the rollers that the drum sits on. If yours is going bad, the symptom of it is usually it'll start making a banging noise. As the drum turns, it'll go da 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 da, or it could make a loud squealing noise, or it just sounds outrageously like it's vibrating really hard and rough and just definitely not running what anyone would consider quietly. So if that's what yours is doing, this is a video for you. The type of dryer we're working on today is any type that has a filter that comes out the top. So if you have a filter that comes out the top of your machine, this is a video for you. If it's inside the door, it's gonna be slightly different, but this video may still help. All right, before we get started, as always, we're gonna unplug because we don't wanna die. All right, first thing we're gonna do is take the two Phillips head screws out of this hole. It's a good idea to put a cloth down there because if you drop those screws, you have to take the entire back end off. You have to take the fan shroud off just to get to that screw. So put that cloth there just so you don't mess up. All right, from here, you're gonna take a flat blade of any sort, whether it's a putty knife or whatever you have around, push it about an inch in is the keeper. You can push it and give it a little bit of a twist and it'll come up like that. Or you can flex the frame by pushing forward here, pulling here, and lifting up a little bit, and it'll do the exact same thing, a little bit faster. Don't lose your cloth, lift it up. And if you have it the right distance away from the wall, you'll be able to lean against the wall, super convenient. If not, just make sure it's not gonna fall onto you while you're working on it. Have it in a nice steady place where it won't fall forward. All right, from here, we're gonna undo a 5/16 from this side, 5/16 from this side, and we're gonna undo the wire that goes to the lid switch right here. It's gonna be an easy connection. Sometimes you have to take a flathead and push it in there and wiggle it to get the connection to loosen up because it's not coming off in years. Sometimes you don't. All right, as you're undoing the last one, it's gonna wanna come forward, so don't let that just fall forward. Hold it with your hand. And we're gonna lift up on this side and it's gonna come out of a spot right down there. It's gonna be a little hook in a square hole. Same thing on this side, and it's gonna come right loose. And we're just gonna lean it against the wall. All right, from here we're gonna undo the belt from the motor. All right, from right here, we're just gonna reach in and unhook the belt and roll the motor just a little bit and it's gonna come loose, and we're loose. And we're just gonna take the belt, lift the drum up, and come out. And while we're right here, let's go ahead and inspect. Sometimes there'll be black grit. It's actually pieces of rubber from the wheels that fall apart that we're gonna replace. Will build up, and that'll also make the drum make a horrible noise as it goes around. Make sure it's not on there. If you see it there, just scrape off the pieces. You'll feel it's just pieces of rubber that's stuck to this groove. Also, while you're here, there's a felt seal that can be replaced if yours is messed up. They go bad after a little while, and if it's bad, it will also start leaking air around it as the dryer's sucking, and it will land lint all inside the bottom of the dryer, so make sure that's good. And we're just gonna set this off to the side. All right, first thing we're gonna do is undo this 5/16 screw. We're just gonna loosen it up. And then I like to take just a pair of pliers and grab on right here. Don't bend this thing, just flex it a little bit back and forth. And if you put your thumb right there, it'll make sure that black keeper doesn't just go flying, because there's that guy. Just gonna sit it down where we don't lose it. Pull this guy out of the way and roll it over. And now this triangle piece right here, it will come, if you have a new kit, it will have a new one. If you do not have a new kit, don't break it because sometimes they get very fragile. And you're just gonna take something sharp head, flathead, or this tool I'm using, which is called a key tool, which is just a handy little sharp tool. And that's it. That guy's off. From right here, we're just gonna pull this guy out. Usually, if you're opening this up and your dryer is dirty at all, it's very common to be covered in hair or string or just built up old lint. Sometimes this will have rust on it and you'll have to polish it off and then put oil back on it again, white lithium grease or whatever you prefer. And we're going to do the exact same thing on this side. It's a lot easier because it doesn't have that little metal bracket there. So we're just right immediately to this little plastic triangle guy again. And it popped right off. That one came off easy. Same thing, pull that off, inspect that, make sure it's nice and clean and hair free. And then we're going to get our new rollers, put the new kit back on. I'll link a kit down in the description below. And usually the kits also, a lot of them come with a new belt and a new idler pulley. I definitely recommend getting a new idler pulley if your idler pulley is the old version that's like a half C instead of a rolling wheel. This is a much better version. It'll let your belt last a lot longer, and they still work exactly the same. So here we're putting this guy back in place, and they just push back on pretty easy. Put this guy back in place. We're going to go ahead and put the plastic piece, little triangle guy back on. Then we're going to roll this guy in. Push this guy on, and your kit has a new one. Use the new one in your kit if you have it, because it'll be a lot tighter. And then we're just going to tighten down that 5/16 screw again. And we're ready to put the drum back in. We're going to put the belt back over it. And the belt goes, and you'll see it has one flat side of the belt that goes up and towards the sky. Towards the actual drum itself will be the rib side, the 4 ribs. So we're gonna lift this up with the belt, put it in place, and kind of lift it up a little high and lower it down onto our new rollers. And from here, I'm just going to make sure we're good and in place and give it a nice turn. And we're gonna inspect that felt seal that's on the back side as we go. Make sure it's not caught or flipped over anywhere as we go all the way around. You can also look from the inside and see if it's flipped over. All right, from here, I'm gonna hook the belt back on. All right, now to hook the belt back up, we're gonna go through this guy. We're going to pull it towards us just a little bit and hook it over that motor. You can also, if it's a little bit tight on you, you can just hook it there and then just roll the motor until it falls into place. Alright, I'm going to grab the front. Again, we got a square hole, a hook, a hook. Alright, from right here I'm going to give the drum again a little bit of a turn and make sure it falls on the front seal as well. Alright, now they're nice and spinning, nice and smooth on the front seal and the back seal. From here we'll put our 5/16 in, 5/16, and put our plug back on. And I like to start these 5/16 by hand because if you accidentally drop them here, you'll take the entire thing back off and find where you drop the screw. So just go ahead and slowly, carefully do them by hand to start with. All right, we're gonna lay it down. Little push. And then we're going to put our 2 Phillips head screws back in place. Again, take our rag, put a rag in there, make sure we do not drop these screws to make this a nightmare project. Alright, we'll take our filter, put it back in, and we're done. And that's it, guys. I appreciate you guys watching the video. Please like, please subscribe. It really helps the channel. Thanks for watching, guys, and please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. Also, if you have any doubts the part you're going to get is the right one, check out the video I link in the description below. It will walk you step by step to use your model number to find the right parts. Also, check out the playlist on the right. It's every repair for this exact machine.